Riches begin in the form of thought. The amount is limited only by the person in whose mind the thought is put into motion. Faith removes all limitations. Your subconscious mind recognizing and acts only upon thoughts that have been well mixed with the emotion or feeling of success. The mind then comes, finally, to take on the nature of the influences that dominate it. Understanding this truth, and you will know why it is essential for you to encourage the positive emotions as dominating forces of your mind and discourage and eliminate negative emotions. A mind dominated by positive emotions becomes a favourable abode for the state of mind known as faith. A mind so dominated may, at will, give the subconscious mind instructions which it will accept and act upon immediately. So, brain wavelength. Here's a concept for you. All around us, like radio waves and things, there is the universal or infinite intelligence. And that's every single idea that will ever exist and ever has existed. It's the God of the universe. And they're on wavelengths traveling all around the ether. And it's our brain's job, the sole purpose of the brain is to detect those waves so we can then take them from the subconscious into the conscious thought and create those thoughts into a reality. So, how do you make sure your brain is a correct receiving station for this infinite universal intelligence? You have to start making sure your brain is going into these higher wavelengths or these higher states of thinking more often. This can be done through meditation. It can be done through spending time in nature and just going through states of just thinking and time of just thinking. And this can be done through reading intelligent books and intelligence and watching intelligent ideas and listening to intelligent podcasts and things to get your brain wavelength just vibrating at that higher frequency so it becomes a much more favorable environment to be receiving these ideas. My greatest ideas have come to me through moments of thinking, through moments of listening to other people's ideas, through the moment when I've elevated my brain wavelength at a higher frequency. Normally, the wavelength is just sort of like normal. You're just doing your day-to-day things. You're like listening to some music. Actually, music is one of the things that can elevate your brain length frequency. But you're just doing day-to-day things that your brain usually operates at. This is the conscious mind. The subconscious mind, things that you don't actually consciously think about, always operates at a slightly higher wavelength. Okay? This is why it can just draw upon these ideas from the ether. Okay? So you have to now start of having at least once a day, or at least once a week really, but ideally once a day, where you are just making sure your brain is on this higher wavelength so the great ideas can come to you. Okay? Interesting thoughts. Because the greatest of all the great idealists of our time, the Aristotles, the Henry Fords, the Lincolns, these people were great thinkers. And that's because they knew how to elevate their brain wavelength from an ordinary standard to a genius standard. This is what elevates someone from an ordinary standard to a genius standard. It's their thinking. It's their outside the box visionaries. And these visionaries have to be pulled from somewhere. The correct thoughts don't just appear. The correct neurotransmitters and the correct electrical signals have to work in the exact right sequence within the brain. And it needs the energy from the environment that you're in to work and to make sure everything's on point. So that's why your environment and your times of thinking are so important. If you've got a bad diet, you can never get high brain frequency because you're going to continuously have brain fog. It has to be clean, nutritious water. Your brain is like, I don't know what the exact figure is, but it's something like 70% water. So are you drinking enough water so your brain can start going on to these high level things? I mean, this is a great way of developing this, is by watching and listening to highly intellectual and highly thought-provoking videos, podcasts, books, and things like that. Such a great way. Other things that can increase your thoughts are certain emotions. There are like 10 of these emotions, 2 of which are bad, the other 8 are good emotions, and you can transmute the energy from these emotions. Number 1 being sex, number 2 being love, number 3 being friendship, number 4 being things like happiness, number 5 being content, enjoyment, and then you've got things like jealousy, fear. Fear is an interesting one because it can either be good or it can either be bad. In the natural world, fear is extremely important because you need to have fear, you need to have pain for you to run away and actually survive. So fear can be a good emotion if it's used correctly and if you know how to control your fear. Remember, having like confidence and having courage is not having no fear. It's having fear and doing the thing anyway. That's the courage, that's the confidence. Anyway, that was a slight sidetrack, but these are the things, the top 3, sex, love, and relationships, are the top 3 for doing transmutation of the energy that these things give you and the heightened brain activity into thoughts and ideas. If you looked at the greatest people of all time, they always had someone by their side, a mastermind group, a wife, a great family. These people always had that one person or that one group of people that would elevate them from the normal state of thinking to an elevated state of thinking. Anyway, my actionable step for you guys is to just try and do a few more things that elevate your state of thinking so that you can develop extra thought and you can develop the power of thought. So eventually that one idea will come to you and you can reap the benefits of it. Because don't forget, every single thing was started out from a single thought and a single idea. The light bulb, the phone that I'm watching this on, the pen, everything, one single idea. That idea came from someone's brain, which came from the energy of the ether. If you want to learn more about this topic, I recommend Think and Grow Rich. I'm also developing a special program that should be out in the summertime to help. It's basically all the knowledge wrapped up in one place. And I'm developing a special program where you can go on there, you can buy it, and everything's in one place. And it's going to have actionable steps, and all my knowledge is going to be in one place. That's what I'm writing down now, actually. I'm not going to advertise anything else, just that, but it's not available yet. I'll let you know when it is. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Hope you've enjoyed this different style of video. Cool. And we'll cut there.